Hey, everybody. Today we have a very interesting topic. At least I find it very interesting. And it is the topic of certifications for belly dancers. First off, I want to preface I'm going to be as unbiased as possible. But I am human, so I may have some biases that play out in this conversation. So that's the one thing. The second thing is I also want to make sure we put out there that certifications in general are not good, bad, right, or wrong. It is just something that happens for a standard or a certain discipline to have a bar or have a standard, like I was saying, in order for things to be held in a way that still honors and respects the thing that is having a certification for, right? So that was really bad English, but it's okay. You got my point. So the first thing that I want to talk to you about is why our industry may be a bit different in general from other dance forms when we receive what we would call certifications or testing out of things. One, our art form is really based on a cultural and societal agreement. Meaning, when we think of belly dancing from a native perspective and a non-native perspective, their answers will be different based on the culture that they grew up in and the societal agreement within that culture about what this art form is. So a native person who grew up with Oriental dance or with folklore in their region will have a different viewpoint as to what this is and how it should be done versus someone who is a non-native person coming from the outside looking into the art form itself. When we look at ballet, or we look at modern, or we look at tap dancing, or we look at jazz, or we look at hip hop or salsa, or any of these other dance genres, some of them have a standardized discipline in which at a certain point you've invested enough practice and time into that you can now call yourself a ballerina, ballerino, a modern dancer, a salsa dancer, right? There's certain criteria that they will meet in order to say that they can call themselves that. In belly dance is a little bit different. We do have some criteria that says that, but we don't have a standardized way of approaching it. Hence why certifications have come in to some extent, because it can offer people a guideline and a track on how to approach this dance form and be qualified to give the information out to someone else, as well as are they good enough to just be portraying the art form? Like if I studied ballet for 6 months, I cannot call myself a professional ballerina. However, in belly dancing, it happens all the time. So our industry is different in that it is super subjective, with the caveat of making sure we have some agreement culturally and societally about where our level is as a dancer, as a teacher, and as a performer. So the first question I want to ask us is, why would you certify? There are many kinds of certifications out there. There's particular dancers' style that they would certify you in their particular style. There's styles of a genre in general. And then there's even certifications for your profession, right? So you can have it based off of wanting to dance similarly to a specific dancer, dancing within a specific genre, and then being specific within your industry, whether it's being a teacher, being a dancer, or being a performer. There's all kinds of different certifications for these areas. Why would you want to get a certification? One, it is a way to check in with the knowledge that you've acquired and the skill level that you have. So if I say, oh, I'm a ballerina, but I only have 6 months, and I go out and I look like I only have 2 months, 1 month, 1 week of training, Would it do the industry a service for me to be going out and calling myself a ballerina? Absolutely not. It would take that art form and it would reduce it down to what people would see me as, because they think if she can call herself a ballerina, oh my gosh, what else is possible out there? Versus a standard being set higher for us to work ourselves up into upholding our art form at a certain level. So certifications are great because you're getting feedback, you're getting societal agreement on the genre that you're getting certified in, and it's a great way to check in with yourself. One, if are you ready to be going out and doing these certain things that you've promised others and yourself that you could do? And it's a great way to market as well. It really is. So when we get certifications in saying that I'm level one this, or I'm level one in this style, or I have full knowledge in this area, it is a way for people to understand your credentials, your credibility, the validity of your teaching, and whether or not to trust you in some instances, right? So when we do business with people we like, know, and trust, having certifications behind our name can definitely help in marketing ourselves, in what area we're in, classifying what kind of professional you are at and in what area where your expertise may lie, and so on and so forth. So in that sense, it can be very, very helpful. Why would you not want to certify? So this is I find this topic a bit controversial. A lot of people don't think that you can certify yourself in something that belongs to a society, in something that belongs to a culture, versus a generalized industry profession, right? If you're being a teacher, or if you're being a lawyer, or if you are a marketing person, or this or that, right? We have come to accept that when we get certifications in certain areas, it is an acceptable thing to do. When it comes to belly dancing specifically, it is controversial because a lot of people are certifying in a way that creates exclusivity, in a way that's not inclusive of everybody. And that sounds weird, right? They're creating this wall as to, if you are not certified, your work isn't valid. I've seen that actually quite a bit, where your work isn't valid unless you get certified. Biasly, I don't believe in that. Unbiasedly, I'm just telling you what I've seen. Okay? So it's a way to exclude people by creating this exclusivity that doesn't necessarily make people feel loved and welcome. In fact, it can make them feel small, right? Another reason why you may not want to certify is because who is setting the standard in our industry? Who is saying that this is what it takes to do this, this, and this? And who's saying that this is what makes you proficient? Where is the agreement? Where's the societal agreement in that, in which we can agree that if you do these things, you are now considered a belly dancer, or you are now considered a belly dance teacher, or you are now considered insert blank here. It's very, very freaking subjective. And depending on who you ask, you're going to get multiple answers. Some people from the culture don't think it's okay, and some people from the culture do think it's okay because we're upholding a standard of their art. Some non-native people think it's okay because it's a way to uphold it outside of the culture, and some people don't think it's okay because it's not their culture to standardize. So you really want to be taking into consideration all of these things when you put yourself into a certification program, or when you choose to not put yourself in a certification program. Be sure of your choice. Be informed. Do your research. See where your personal values are. See with whom you're studying, what they're teaching, how they're conveying the information to you, so that way they make you feel empowered as a teacher to really push forth the art form, or is it a certification to really, or non-certification to hold people down and keep them in place, right? Versus really pushing and progressing this art form forward. Do the research, study who you're with, right? Getting these certifications or not getting these certifications, and just studying in general. It is a huge topic of what should or shouldn't be done. can and can't be done, or, like, is it really right, wrong, good, or bad? And in the beginning, I said, I don't believe that it's good, right, bad, or wrong. You're good, should, you should, all sides of that coin, because it's so subjective, and art in general is really hard to deduce down into having a certification or not having a certification. All that being said, I do think there are courses and curriculums that you can take to further your education. There are many native teachers who are teaching curriculums in folklore, in Oriental. There's many non-native teachers who are doing in folklore and Oriental. And any other genre, there is furthered information, which I think is absolutely important. It doesn't even have the word certification behind it, right? But it is a focus, it is a topic, and it is a curriculum that you can do to further your education. So I want to leave you with this. Whether or not you believe in a certification, do something that pushes yourself. Do something that services the art, the people, and the culture, and the people who are in that culture that we're borrowing this art form from. It is so important that we elevate the game in what we are doing, whether or not you believe in a certification. So take the time to do the research and see if the people that you're studying with are really furthering this art form or they're keeping it down. And take the actions that follow suit with that. Okay? So I'll leave you with this. As I just said, I would leave you with the other thought. Study with native teachers. Being a performer, a dancer for your own, or a teacher, and study with people who understand what they are doing and they're an expert in their field. I study with several native teachers, and I'm more than happy to provide you their names. Reach out to me. And study with people who know what they're doing. I'm gonna say, I know what I'm doing when I teach people how to teach in general. That's why I have my Badass Teacher Academy. That's why I'm doing that curriculum, because I trust that I am furthering this art form by empowering people on how to convey the information that they have to others responsibly and with a lot of love and compassion for whatever industry they are teaching in. Study with those kinds of people who are passionate. They are doing it for the greater good. They're doing it because they love it, and they're doing it to create this amazing value for the art form and for you.